Hello, my name is Adam Levon Brown. I'm an award-winning confessional poet with over 315 published poems, 41 books, and a small universe of courses and projects orbiting around one simple idea: taking the pain that almost killed me and turning it into something that keeps other people alive. But it didn't start with awards, apps, or an academy. It started with silence. It started with the kid who didn't have language for what was happening inside his own head. I grew up feeling like my own brain was a hostile place. Before I ever thought of myself as a writer, I was just trying to survive my own mind. Mental illness, trauma, codependency, suicidal ideation. I didn't have the words for any of that yet. I just knew that everyday life felt like walking through a house full of broken glass. When I finally did pick up that pen, it wasn't because I wanted to be a poet, it was because nothing else worked. Therapists, meds, distractions, they all helped in small ways, but there was still this pressure building inside me, and no one was teaching me how to turn it into something I could live with. So I did the only thing that made sense at the time. I started writing the truth down. Not the polished workshop safe version, not this will look good in a journal version. I mean the raw, ugly, unmarketable truth. The parts of myself I was sure would make people turn away if they saw them. I didn't know it then, but I was teaching myself confessional poetics, taking lived pain and alchemizing it into language, line by line. The literary world did not roll out a red carpet. My first years trying to publish were nothing but no's. I collected rejections the way the other people collect vinyl or rare books. Dozens, then hundreds. There's a line in my coaching plan that says, your story is 100 rejections, mental illness, 2 suicide attempts, writing a survival first publication, blue nib, 315 poems, building the academy. None of that is marketing language. That's my actual timeline. At one point, I tried to leave. Twice. Those suicide attempts aren't metaphors or branding hooks. They were the logical conclusion of believing the lie that my pain was pointless, that it didn't mean anything, that it couldn't become anything except more suffering for the people around me. What kept me here wasn't some dramatic movie moment revelation. It was smaller than that. It was the realization that when I wrote honestly about what was happening inside my head, people responded. A friend, a stranger online, somebody would say, that's exactly how it feels for me, and I've never seen anyone put it into those words before. And that is powerful. That sentence, I've never seen it put it into those words before, became the thread I followed out of the dark. Slowly, the rejections turned into acceptances. I started figuring out how this weird world of literary journals and editors actually works. I learned how to shape poems so they still held all the blood and teeth of lived experience, but in a way an editor could say yes to. Eventually, those yeses stacked up. 315 published poems, multiple prize shortlistings, an award, a Kirkus reviewed book. A name started appearing in places I'd only dreamed about. And here's what surprised me the most. None of that removed the pain. It didn't cure my mental illness. It didn't erase the trauma. But it did something more interesting. It gave the pain a job. Instead of my experiences just sitting there like dead weight inside my nervous system, they became raw material. They became lines, metaphors, entire books. They became the backbone of a long body of work. That's when I realized I didn't just want to be published. I wanted to build a path, not just for me, for every writer who has survived something they don't have words for yet. So I did what a lot of sane people would probably consider unwise. I built an entire universe around this. Madness Meets Press, a publishing imprint focused on mental health writing so that other poets processing madness and recovery didn't have to beg for space in systems that don't understand them. The Digital Renaissance Academy, flagship courses on confessional poetry, spoken word performance, and getting published, with full video lessons, score modules, and workbooks that walk you through the exact process I used to go from anonymous submissions to award-winning publications. Attleby, my teaching home base, where those courses live. A place where someone who's been quietly journaling for years can come in, learn the craft, understand the submissions game, and see their first acceptance email land in their inbox. A writer friend app in development, because I know what it's like to be awake at 2 a.m. needing a creative ally ally in not having one. And around all of that, a simple mission that drives everything: to help people transform lived pain into literary mastery, using writing as both art and therapy. When you strip away the fancy language, my story is painfully ordinary. I was hurt. I didn't know what to do with that hurt. I tried to leave. Writing gave me a way to stay. But the part that matters, the part I'm filming this for, is what happened after I realized writing could be more than self-soothing. Because once you survive something and learn how to turn it into a poem, an essay, a book, a performance, you have a choice. You can keep that skill set to yourself, or you can become a bridge between the poet who suffers in silence, who submits once and quits, who believes their story doesn't matter, and the poet who knows exactly how to turn their wounds into work that reaches and rescues the people who need it most. I chose to be a bridge. That's why you're seeing this. If you're here, there's a good chance you're carrying your own version of what I described. Maybe you've been writing in private for years. Maybe you've been rejected so often you started to believe it means something about you. Maybe your mental health story feels too messy, too complicated, too unpoetic to belong on the page. I built my course, my press, my app, my entire Adam Levon Brown universe for that person, for you. Not to make you into me, but to give you the tools, the craft, the insider knowledge, and the community I wish I would have had when I was staring at a blank page thinking, if I tell the truth about what happened to me, will anyone still be there when I'm done? So this is my origin story, not of a brand, of a promise. That as long as I'm here, I will keep doing everything in my power to turn my own madness into mastery, and to teach you how to do the same with yours. Because the world does not need another polished, distant literary genius. It needs more people who survived, learned the language of their own suffering, and chose to make something beautiful, honest, and useful out of it. If that's you, or if you want it to be, you're in the right place. I'm Adam Levon Brown. Welcome to the work.